Sometimes your mind feels on edge, restless, or foggy, even when nothing seems wrong. Subtle signals, like irritability, difficulty focusing, or constant mental chatter, can reveal that your brain is overstimulated. These signs are often easy to ignore, but they quietly affect mood, decision-making, and energy levels. Recognizing them early is the first step toward calming the mind and restoring balance before overwhelm takes hold. Today, we will talk about the subtle signs you're mentally overstimulated. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. 1. What mental overstimulation really is. Mental overstimulation occurs when the brain is exposed to more information, decisions, or sensory input than it can efficiently process. In modern life, constant notifications, multitasking, media consumption, and demanding work environments push the mind into overdrive. This state is different from ordinary fatigue. It's a cognitive overload where attention, focus, and emotional regulation are impaired. The brain's prefrontal cortex, responsible for executive function, becomes taxed, reducing the ability to plan, make decisions, and prioritize effectively. At the same time, the amygdala, the brain's emotional center, can become hyperactive, heightening sensitivity to stress, irritability, and anxiety. Over time, chronic overstimulation disrupts the brain's natural balance, creating a persistent feeling of mental chaos, exhaustion, and decreased productivity. Recognizing the subtle signs of overstimulation is critical for intervention before it escalates into burnout or chronic stress. 2. Difficulty focusing and task completion. One of the earliest signs of mental overstimulation is difficulty focusing. Tasks that previously seemed manageable suddenly feel overwhelming or impossible. The brain struggles to filter relevant from irrelevant information, resulting in scattered attention and frequent distractions. Multitasking exacerbates this effect, as the brain constantly switches between tasks without completing any fully. This mental fragmentation reduces efficiency and increases perceived workload. Individuals may notice that they forget details, struggle to follow conversations, or procrastinate on tasks requiring sustained attention. Understanding that focus difficulties stem from cognitive overload, not laziness or incompetence, helps reframe the experience and encourages strategies to reduce stimuli, prioritize tasks, and allow mental recovery. 3. Irritability and emotional reactivity. Mental overstimulation often manifests emotionally through irritability, impatience, or heightened sensitivity. The amygdala responds to perceived stressors as threats, even when they are minor, amplifying emotional reactions. Small annoyances can trigger disproportionate frustration or anxiety, creating tension in social and professional interactions. Emotional reactivity may also be internalized as self-criticism, further intensifying stress. This heightened emotional state is a natural response to excessive cognitive load, signaling that the brain's processing capacity is exceeded. Recognizing emotional fluctuations as a symptom of overstimulation allows individuals to implement calming routines, mindfulness practices, and structured breaks, reducing stress and restoring emotional equilibrium. 4. Sleep disturbances. Overstimulation frequently disrupts sleep patterns. Racing thoughts, anxiety, and mental hyperactivity make it difficult to fall asleep or stay asleep, reducing restorative rest. Sleep deprivation compounds cognitive overload by impairing prefrontal cortex function, which is crucial for focus, decision-making, and emotional regulation. Poor sleep also alters dopamine and cortisol balance, reducing motivation and resilience while increasing vulnerability to stress. This creates a vicious cycle where overstimulation causes poor sleep, and poor sleep worsens overstimulation symptoms. Recognizing sleep issues as a subtle sign of cognitive overload allows individuals to implement strategies such as digital detox before bed, relaxation routines, and mindfulness practices to restore sleep quality and cognitive functioning. 5. Sensory sensitivity. Overstimulation often leads to heightened sensitivity to sensory input. Bright lights, loud noises, crowded spaces, or excessive screen time can feel overwhelming or irritating. The brain, already operating at high capacity, struggles to filter extraneous sensory information, triggering fatigue, stress, and anxiety. Sensory overload can manifest as headaches, difficulty concentrating, or emotional irritability, signaling that the nervous system needs recovery. Recognizing this subtle sign allows individuals to create low-stimulus environments, limit unnecessary exposure, and prioritize calm, restorative settings to reduce cognitive strain and regain mental balance. 6. Decision fatigue. Excessive mental stimulation can lead to decision fatigue, where even minor choices feel exhausting or paralyzing. The prefrontal cortex becomes overwhelmed by continuous evaluation and prioritization, reducing the brain's ability to make decisions efficiently. Everyday decisions, what to eat, which task to prioritize, or how to respond in social situations, may suddenly feel insurmountable. Decision fatigue can lead to procrastination, impulsivity, or avoidance, further increasing stress and mental strain. Recognizing this subtle sign encourages strategies like decision batching, prioritizing essential choices, and creating routines that reduce unnecessary cognitive load, allowing the brain to conserve energy for meaningful tasks. 7. Difficulty retaining information. Mentally overstimulated individuals often experience memory lapses or difficulty retaining information. The hippocampus, responsible for forming and consolidating memories, struggles under excessive cognitive load. Individuals may forget details, misplace items, or repeat questions during conversations. Information that would normally be processed efficiently instead feels scattered or fleeting. These lapses are a direct result of the brain's reduced capacity under overstimulation, not inherent incompetence. Recognizing memory issues as a symptom helps reframe self-perception, encouraging organizational strategies, note-taking, and focused breaks to improve retention and cognitive performance. 8. Constant mental noise. Overstimulation can produce a sensation of mental noise, where thoughts feel rapid, scattered, and uncontrollable. The brain attempts to process excessive information simultaneously, producing a constant internal dialogue that makes focus and calm difficult. This mental chatter increases anxiety, decreases productivity, and reduces the ability to engage in meaningful reflection or creative thinking. Mindfulness, meditation, and intentional quiet time help reduce this internal noise, giving the brain a chance to reset and regain clarity, focus, and emotional stability. 9. Withdrawal or avoidance. Mentally overstimulated individuals often withdraw from social, professional, or recreational activities. Cognitive overload makes engaging with new information or interactions feel overwhelming. Avoidance serves as a coping mechanism to reduce stimuli, but chronic withdrawal can exacerbate stress and emotional isolation. Recognizing withdrawal as a subtle sign of overstimulation allows individuals to balance exposure and recovery strategically, incorporating periods of rest while gradually re-engaging with meaningful activities to maintain connection and cognitive health. 10. Strategies to restore mental balance. Addressing mental overstimulation requires intentional recovery strategies. These include limiting multitasking, reducing digital exposure, creating structured routines, practicing mindfulness, and prioritizing restorative sleep. Incorporating short breaks, quiet reflection, and sensory-friendly environments enhances cognitive efficiency and emotional resilience. Recognizing subtle signs early allows individuals to prevent escalation into burnout, chronic anxiety, or impaired functioning. By balancing stimulation with intentional recovery, the brain regains clarity, focus, and sustainable mental energy, promoting long-term productivity, emotional stability, and overall well-being. If you liked this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up, leave a comment, and click the button to subscribe.